Good afternoon and welcome to Channel Sports. It is Sports Palava. It is live. It is expected. And of course, because we are talking about Sunday Mba, we're talking about the saga of a man whose ownership is in question. My name is Ken Ochonogo. It is Sports Palava. And before now, the name Sunday Mba would have been just any other footballer, even if he has risen from the ranks. He was, he captained the under-17 of the national team. He has played in the all the junior cadres before he got there. But then he a kind of laid-back player. But Sunday on the Sunday, putting on number 19, he knocked that ball in, and he became famous. And with that also, his value rose. They say success has fathers, grandfather, great-grandfather, ancestors, even unborn children. But when you are a failure, everybody forgets you. So Sunday Mba translated into success. And suddenly, who owns the child? I don't want to remember, don't divide the child. Because for those of you who follow the biblical, there is case of two women fighting for a child and said, shall we divide the child? But in this case, who goes who? Warri Wolves versus Rangers. But it has thrown up a lot of things. It has thrown up a lot of the way we do things in this country. The way we do not have details. We do not have our facts. We do not have, laid down rules or regulations. The way that we don't have things that guide us. The way that we do things arbitrarily. So we are looking at the Sunday Mba, issue vis-a-vis. How do clubs sign players? What contracts do they give to them? What is the role of the FA in this? The NFA. What is their role? What are they supposed to do? Are they supposed to issue a license? Are they supposed to know where a player is at any point in time? Because before you play, you have to be eligible. Eligibility derives from the FA giving you a signature. We have cleared you. And the clubs themselves, you do not know who you own. So who is to blame in this saga? Is it the NFA or the clubs? I'm starting with Jimmy. Jimmy Kato, how are you?
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here. I actually do feel that Sunday Mba has not kept himself in glory because of all these incidents that have happened. But if you look at it also, it's got to be said, I think our players and club owners, administrators, they have found a way of conniving together to ensure that some of these anomalies do happen. And it's so pitiable. Normally, we should be celebrating Sunday Mba right about now. But some way, somehow, this saga has become very infamous. This is the saga that has become so protracted and it's affecting his career some way, somehow. You saw the last match against Kenya. It wasn't particularly fantastic. I would not even use the word particularly fantastic, really. I should be saying he had a very insipid performance. And I think it's just, it brings up to the front burner the reason why we must find a solution to all this. This is time we got it right. This is time we begin to look into all the contracts of our players in different leagues. The player didn't do himself justice in this. Do you believe that it is the clubs that are responsible for this hula baloo that we're having? Or is you think actually that it is the FA that has not done their job?
Obviously, there's no way you will exonerate the football body talking about, let's just decide to call it the Nigerian Football Association. Because obviously, they are the owner of the game. Yeah. They are the administrators. They are supposed to be the clearinghouse. They are supposed to be the arbiter in case where such a thing that is happening now is happening. Take it from whichever angle. Though the whole thing will trickle down to the club, but you must be able to put a pen and put a full stop. The NFA cannot and will not, shy away from this problem that is, becoming a national embarrassment. And it's more or less a national embarrassment because these are some of the things you don't hear in other land. People will be laughing. How can a country, how old are we? Over 50-something years. And by next year, we are talking about celebrating centenary. And this type of issue is coming up, and people are still watching and talking. He made a point. I saw Mba against Kenya on Sunday. I was even thinking he was not playing until an announcer, a commentator mentioned his name. I said, wow, Mba is still playing this. So if you look at Mba, psychologically, that guy is worn out. And the earlier the NFF come to the round table and come to terms with the reality, the better for us. Not only him, because Mba is just, will I call it, a dot in the eyes of the storm. Because what is going on is people have seen this storm and trying to see how they can diplomatically shy away from it. But it's already on there, because my people said when a physics has gone to public, you can't drive away the dog.
Okay, you are saying, but look at it here. Mba was supposed originally, the last time anybody knew about his valid contract was with Rangers. Yeah. And then they said he went on loan to Dolphins. Yeah. And then Dolphins loaned a player that they don't own to...
what right do they have? What right do they have to loan a player that was loaned to them?
No, you see,
and they have kept quiet in all of this crisis?
These are those aberrations.
And I'm done.
Are you following? Because
exactly.
It's even you see, before we came, I said we have to even go a little back. This player in question started from Mba.
Okay.
Could anyone come and say what is the movement of Mba from Mba to Rangers? Then, in this sequence of movement, you see, the whole thing is laughable, because ordinarily there's no problem with players moving, but the only thing there should be.
It says the FA doesn't have the FA is supposed to have the records.
Yeah. The FA is supposed to have the record.
Yes.
But then you look at it. The player as a professional should know where he is supposed to be playing at. Let's look at it from the basics. You are the professional player. As a professional player that has already been called up to the national team, your orientation should change. So definitely you need to have valid contracts wherever you go to, because you should know that that could affect your career. You are no longer the old player that you used to be.
Does he have a valid contract?
Does he have a valid contract?
The clubs here is modeled. We are looking at model, because if you have given the player a contract, you know I mean, so there is no way if Rangers,
before you take it to the FA, what happens to the club? No. What happens with all the contracts that were supposed to have been signed?
You see, we need to trace this thing from the root.
Okay.
When you look ordinarily, how does this thing work? You said a player of Mba's repute should be able to have a valid
Barrister
contract.
Musa Ahmad, the general secretary of the FA, came out. He said,
the question
look, the truth is
how many?
Clubs
How many?
Blame. He blamed the two clubs.
Fine.
The FA is blaming it on the clubs.
He is shying away. I will tell him that he is shying away from his responsibility.
Because if the FA is blaming the clubs,
yes,
is it the clubs that issue the license? It's not the FA that issues the license.
That is to tell you that there is a thorough malaise in the documentation processes
so the whole thing
in both the FA. But then you look at it, the player himself.
Yeah, good.
That's why I said he did not cap himself in glory. He does not even know
where he
belongs.
No, but can the player show us? If he's a free agent, that's what it's asking.
There have been allegations.
Show us that look, this is where I belong.
This is where I belong.
This is my contract.
He says he wants to play at Rangers.
I just wish to play. Osaze wants to play at QPR and it goes. It didn't work. Why can't it work in Nigeria? That's what I'm saying.
Those are some. You see, nobody is holding.
But why does the FA has to say they want to set up a committee?
They have actually set up a committee.
That is the funniest.
But they have found it difficult making a pronouncement.
That is the funniest
thing. That tells you how
indictable. That is the funniest thing ever. They are. No. But let's look at it from this
angle. Before we look at it, we are going home. At this, we want to open the lines earlier. If there is any lawyer in the house outside there watching this program, let us have your insight into this, because like Humphrey did say, it's an embarrassment to say the least that nobody. The FA, the club, the player do not know where he belongs, do not know who holds his license. I mean, it's not even an amateur player in anywhere in the world can talk of that. But that is where we have found ourselves. And the FA, embarrassingly, also has set up a committee to find out they have a player, the license, they don't know where he's playing. So please, the lines are open. Let us hear your voice and let us hear this. I mean, are you saying the FA shouldn't have just by the time they Rangers loaned him to Dolphin, did FA not clear him for that loan?
The question begs, are we looking at the Nigerian Premier League board first before the FA, or the FA before the NPL or NPFL? The board that runs the league. Which one are we looking at?
Both of the FA and the NPL.
Look,
the FA and the NPL.
They are the final arbiter.
Yes.
They are the final arbiter. At the end of the day, they are the ones that would issue the license.
Yes.
But I'm saying we need to look at the basics. It's just like you are looking at.
We have Mr. from Ikorodu on the line. Hello.
Hello, my brothers. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, this is King on the line. I'm calling from Ikorodu.
Yeah.
Yeah. Please, I've been watching this for almost 3 minutes now, and I'm really enjoying what I'm doing. But judging from look of things, Mba personally has made a mistake to tarnish his own career. You understand me? If he had known, you understand me, when he was moving from the first club to the other, you understand me, to what it was, that's where he made the mistake. He has not decided on where to go initially, but he made that drastic mistake in the first movement from his first club to Warrior. When you know you are on loan and they are moving you over, you are supposed to contact your former club. You understand me? You have an agent and you have a lawyer. You should have done that earlier. But he made that mistake. But the biggest mistake of all comes from the FA. FA are supposed to document this player one by one. So I put all the blame on the FA. All my support goes to the man on the left-hand side that is blaming the FA. You understand me? So next time, one thing I will advise the Nigeria FA to do is that let all these players be documented.
Thank you.
From there, the FA control the clubs. So the directive they give to the club is what they comply with. So failure to comply by it, there must be a strict penalty against them. So their mistake has been done right from the scratch. So for them to iron out things now is fully what's doing. Because I don't think it can be sorted out within the two clubs by themselves. If this thing gets to the FIFA, I'm telling you, if you don't take 1 hour, this case will be settled. So the failure is from the FA and the player himself. Thank you very much, my brother.
Thanks. He said if this thing gets to FIFA, the thing we ask is where is his last valid license? Who owns that license? And but he said now, King just said the man moved from one loan to another. Yeah. When the loan has expired, why didn't he go back to his former club? And he also played against his former club.
Who ratified it? Because at the beginning of the season, everybody is a list of the people that got transferred, players that got transferred within the season is supposed to have been published.
Yeah, supposed.
And that's the problem that we have in our society. And we don't ask questions. Yeah. Now this has been thrown up. This is a particular crisis that had been before the Nations Cup. Yeah. We willingly decided to sweep it under the carpet until after the Nations Cup. Good enough. We won the Nations Cup.
What is the role? What is the player? You are saying the player is to blame. What is supposed to do? Is supposed to transfer himself?
No, let's tell ourselves the truth.
To transfer himself.
We don't have any evidence as to where he plays. His allegiance.
Okay. Hello. Adesina.
Yes. When we look at this whole thing, NFA was supposed to have a record of all the players that are playing in the league. And when you have a player that is playing for the national team, you must have a dossier on each of those players that are playing in the national team. And if there's any dispute concerning any player, what you need to do is go back to your records and see the history of these players from the first team. We are a cup is as a player. What is the flow? Where last was the player sold? To loan to who and to who? And where there's an illegality in the process, NFA should have corrected them at that level. Because we are talking about players, most of the players, they don't know their rights as players. Let's just be practical. And that's why they have quality managers that are supposed to manage it. So what are their managers doing? And what are the departments in NFA doing with the managers? That means somebody somewhere in NFA is not saying the truth. If we are talking with us, we are talking about corruption. This thing shouldn't be like this. This should have been shot into the extent that when they come, what is the setup of this player? They should be able to tell the whole world immediately. You can imagine 2 teams fighting on Rooney. Is it possible? Definitely not possible. So we as Nigerians, we need to look inward and check ourselves. We are so corrupt that things that are so obvious, we set panels to do what? And stop giving people money that are supposed to be done, to be used for something else that we beg out people in Nigeria. At this level, we are not supposed to be having kind of conflict. 3 teams fighting on a player, we should be ashamed as a nation. Thank you.
Thank you. Shino says the player is supposed to have a valid contract. He's supposed to have a manager. He's supposed to know his rights. The clubs, and because the clubs, if they can account for the monies they've been collecting, wouldn't have in their books to say, this is how much we paid to sign Mba, this is how much it is. Is it not the club of their complicity and the players? That is why we have this problem? That if the clubs have their records and academy, would they have this problem?
The whole thing still boils down on record.
Yes, from the clubs themselves.
Fine.
Yes.
But whichever way it is, because what is going on here is an issue that is...
Would you not blame them for meddlesomeness?
No. What I'm asking, okay. I want a clarity.
Okay.
At the beginning of a season, they collect money.
Fine.
This is how much. These are the players we sold. These are the players we bought.
Yeah.
In that their expenditure sheet is Mba not reflected. I'm asking you from both Dolphin and Wolves. And is
no one accounts for anything. Let's accept the truth.
Ken, in a normal situation,
yes,
Mba's name
should be there.
Transfer, movement, loan, payment, and everything will be reflected in a
then
letter.
So the club don't have a file on Mba.
Are you following?
Yes.
But the way we operate things here, those things do not exist. And that is the origin of...
I asked Maxwell from Victoria Island. Hello, Maxwell.
Okay, I'm fine, thank you.
Yeah.
I just want to say that I think Sunday Mba should also take the blame also.
Yeah.
How can you be playing for one club? You are sent on loan. After you complete the loan, you move to another club without even letting your parent club know. It's not done. I think you should share the blame for part of this whole nonsense also.
Yeah.
Although NFA, everybody is guilty, not just Sunday Mba. Everybody is guilty. Thank you.
Thank you, Maxwell.
You know, the basic thing is this. Sunday Mba had not done himself well. The club administrators, at least we are supposed to have an accredited officer that gives a list at the end of the season, at the beginning of the season, to the NPL. You would worry if NFA was worrying themselves to what happens at the club level because you accuse them of meddlesomeness. It is only when issues arise, they go to the dispute resolution chambers. We keep saying NFA.
Oh.
Who makes up the NFA? But the FA, it is majority. The FA and the board, like he's asking, who give, even they are playing for only 1 week. Do you not have
somebody have
a license has to
issue
be an issue? So eligibility, the FA, what are the FA it's and the club and the board?
Who takes the document right to FA? From the board, from the club. Fine. So if the accredited officer from the club does not take the document
from Ogun State. Hello, Aremu.
Hello, good afternoon.
Aremu, hello.
You see, I support the first man that mentioned something about corruption.
Yeah.
You see, that man talking on behalf of the FA was saying all the documentation, the system does not exist here. And we are talking about...
Go on.
What a country that is over 50 years, what do we mean by it doesn't exist here? If anything happens in England, the FA of England will come in. If a referee has somebody that has two yellow cards already, there's a record. So what do they mean? If the FA is squarely, the FA is to be blamed. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
No, I still ask that question.
Let me just answer your question.
When does the FA come in?
Where?
When?
The case you observe,
okay.
Fine. Documentation flow from the list to the up.
Okay.
Are you following?
Okay.
A club comes to a player comes to a club.
Okay.
He must come with a clearance.
Okay.
Which is either a certificate or a clearance showing that this is where I'm coming from. Okay. You give it to your club, who verify and all those things, and channel it back to from the NFF. No, from the NPL.
Okay.
Are you following to the NFF?
To the NFF. Okay.
The reason being simple. In case of what we are seeing, you see, the whole thing is...
Are you talking of these corrupt administrators that don't have time?
So
do you know some of these players don't even have correct transfer certificates?
We understand all this.
At times, if they ask for their monies and the salaries, they get sacked in the process. So what are we talking about?
But again...
If Sunday Mba had not been a part of this Afcon Cup winning team, what do you think would have happened? If Nigeria had lost to Cote d'Ivoire, do you think we'll be making all this noise about these players?
But they're not.
Antilo's Agim is there. We're not talking about him. Lazarus Chukwu. Why are we talking
about
Sunday Mba?
All right,
okay.
There are many of them.
Yes,
we should be looking at how we are going to look at player transfers.
Yes,
because
that is it. Exactly what we are talking about here. Because I want to ask you, because he's talking about the FA. Most times, even the clubs themselves complain. Because when a player is playing mid-season, the player goes on. The player goes. The player goes abroad to go and play football without a clearance from the club, and then they have the ITC. Where did they get? So the corruption is about from the FA has been modeling all this things up.
And the truth of the matter is, it is this same set of people that do run these clubs that make up the bulk of the FA. That's the truth.
No, they are the Congress. They are not the executive of.
Okay, we have a call. Buchi from Oka, we have a call from Anambra State. Hello, Buchi.
Hello, good afternoon.
Afternoon, Buchi. How are you?
I'm fine.
Yeah.
The situation of Sunday Mba is a very pathetic situation in our football history. Sunday Mba as a player actually did not do so well. Some of the problem I have with some of these players are they are very naive. Some of them may now have been exposed to know their rights. Then the FA is totally responsible for players' movement. In England, whenever a player is moved from one place to another, it is in the newspaper, everybody will see it, all of us will hear it. But here in Nigeria, people will be jumping from one club to another, you won't even know where they are going. They don't even know their rights. They don't have lawyers, they don't have good managers, they don't even know their rights because they are not exposed. So I think Sunday Mba is just one case. There are so many Sunday Mbas in our local leagues suffering without even knowing what they are doing, entering into some of these contracts without knowing their rights. So I think this is good. It has exposed the level of decadence in our FA. I think with this, we can begin to put things right. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Well, this country has already exposed all these things he has said, and I really value all he said. And the truth of the matter is this. Yes, we are saying the FA is guilty. I'm not going to be an advocate for them. But I'm also saying that from the basic, let's look at it.
Like the fellow talking about, the fellow is talking about Sunday Mba.
Sunday Mba, yes. For example, if a Sunday Mba as a professional player does not have an agent or an agent that should know what to do properly, then there's a big problem somewhere. Because when you do get a call up to the national team, it behoves on you to change your mentality and your orientation. Wow. It's got to change. Now, your agent, you remember Shino Phillips saying something about player movement between himself, and that shows you that at a level, there are documentations that do go between certain individuals because they are exposed. Are we saying that the FA is not exposed enough? Are we saying the NPL, those that form the NPL, are not exposed enough? Are we saying Sunday Mba does not know what a contract means? After having played at World Youth Championships.
Sunday Mba has a manager, or the players just go and negotiate with the clubs. I think there is the FA says you should have a manager.
It's not done.
I mean, so I do not negotiate directly with the players or with the manager.
Yeah, that's what we.
Or even with the clubs.
That's what we see in Nigeria.
That's what obtained in Nigeria.
Players negotiate their either loan transfer
one-on-one. I am not in this club.
No, I'm not in this club. Come and talk to my chairman. It's not done.
We are talking about players. What about coaches? Let's go a little back. At the beginning of the section, we had a case of somebody who has played for this country at the highest level, coached the senior national team, who incidentally is coaching Sharks. At the day one of that match, he was found somewhere outside his base. What was the reason he didn't have a contract? We held him. I said for once, at least we see somebody who is trying to right a wrong. Suddenly, he's back. And up to now, he has not even come out to tell us that.
The true situation of things.
So you are blaming a player who can barely feed to have an agent.
Okay.
We are not talking about
does have an agent. He does have an agent. I know that for sure. He does have an agent.
I'm just using him.
Also look at here, he's a coach.
And that tells
the player, that even the coach doesn't have.
And that tells you how our club administrators frustrate coaches and players.
So then who comes in? This is where the NFA needs to come in.
Okay. You are rounding up. 30 seconds.
Definitely, this issue is a national embarrassment. You cannot moralize it. NFF, this idea of shifting the goalpost cannot help us. Let them stand and make a pronouncement on Mba's case. No other person can do it. Neither Rangers or Warri Wolves can decide on this. NFF can
like the caller said, everybody is guilty. The NFA is guilty, the NPL is guilty, the player is guilty, and it is high time we make sure that all players, be it in the amateur league, be it nationwide league, NNL, NPL, we try to find out the transfer status of all players. That is the only time you know the welfare of these players. They have a
job that they have to do. Be you the player who is moving from a club to the other, the clubs that are signing them, the FA and whatever, it is time for us to have document to do it right. We all are guilty is the verdict we have here. Until we reach over again, I remain sincerely as a sport. Cannot go and I tell you this. Have a Palava free week. Stay blessed.